Chapter 11. Does the human spirit die after death? Spirit is the energy that empowers or generates every living thing or natural substance on earth. The spirit never dies but only separates itself from the body when the body gets corrupt. Spirit has no shape or form, it does not have a feminine or masculine shape. In this case there is nothing like a female spirit or a male spirit. The spirit has no brains, mind, mouths, or organs. It is a supernatural force that controls the universe. The spirit that empowers the human body can still empower the trees, dogs, and other living things on earth. The spirit is not responsible for the act of man, rather, the body and the mind are responsible for the act of man, but the spirit is responsible for the existence of man. This energy, spirit, to me is what we call life. When it fails to empower the physical body of any living thing or natural thing, humans, animals and trees, it begets the existence of the word death. An example of a man-made spirit or a replica of spirit is electric power or energy. Take for example the TV that needs external power such as electric energy, solar energy, batteries, or a generator to work perfectly. When you plug the TV into the power in an apartment, it starts to function. The energy that runs through the apartment cannot be seen physically. The electrical current, it can only be perceived by an electrical testing tool. Now consider the TV as the human body and the power in the apartment as the human spirit. These two must come together to establish life, that is, to make the TV, which is the body, function. The TV as the body has different parts inside that must be perfectly aligned for the TV to function 100% as a TV. When any part of the TV blows or gets broken, it cannot function, just like a body that becomes corrupt cannot function. This means the power in the apartment, which is the human spirit, will not be able to empower the TV anymore, but that does not stop the existence of the power in the apartment. When the TV cannot function anymore because of broken parts, it resembles the death of the body. So, what happens in this case? The TV will be replaced with the new TV, which could be seen as another body or a new body and will still be empowered by the same electric power in the apartment, which stands as the spirit. This could also be seen as a reincarnation of the same spirit in another body. The spirit never dies or goes to heaven or hell. It comes back to exist in another body or thing. I use this example because whatever man has created on earth is a replica of nature, of what he copied from nature. The spirit doesn't search for eternity after death, it comes back to life in another body, while the soul searches for eternal rest. Is man an asset or a liability to God? Apart from asking man to worship God as the supreme being, he also wants man to impress him physically as a man, by showing the tributes of God and man. For example, the man who invented the cell phone has proven the tribute of God in him, and that makes him an asset to God, because that the cell phone he invented will contribute in developing the world the way God wants it, because God does not want man to live without communication. Secondly, a man who creates medical equipment for cancer treatment is an asset to God, because it is through that which he invented with the wisdom given to him by God, that God can heal and respond to the prayers of the sick. When a man has the ability to understand the causes of his problems and face the reality of the problems and work towards overcoming them, that makes him an asset to God. God invests more into those who prove to be an asset to him. Just as we want God to do something for us, bless us, so does God want man to do something for him too. God wants us to develop and take care of that which he has created, and, most of all, he wants man to be a righteous asset. But when a man believes that he cannot achieve his goal unless by a miracle, or by running from one pastor to another or from one church to another, he becomes a liability to God. In the Bible it says to ask only once and not to repeat what you have asked for. God expects man to ask and also wants him to work towards what he has asked for. When a man becomes a liability to God, he keeps on asking without working hard, and that brings him to an active repetition of prayers. God wants man to impress him as a man and also to worship him as a spiritual being, because he created man to make use of man on earth for good purposes. This is a question every man should ask himself: am I an asset to God or a liability to God? God does not want man to be an asset to a religion and a liability to God.